What if there was a safe space for you to explore artificial intelligence? What if there was a team of friendly professionals waiting to help you examine what you can do with AI in your courses? Welcome to the world of what if.
Like I said, I'm Brett Weiner. I'm a multimedia specialist too here at the Center for Online Continuing Education. And today we'll be presenting LeonardoAI. So what it is, very basically, it's just an AI image generation tool. There's quite a few more features built into that. We'll be going into more of those features in the generic image generation. So I'll walk over my slides over here and I'll show you what we can do. And how this is going to work is I'm going to show all the tools first, and afterwards I'm going to do a demonstration showing you how each one works, what you can do with it, and how to use it. So without further ado, what is LeonardoAI? LeonardoAI is an AI image generation tool. Has all the features of any other AI image generation tool, but it has quite a few more features, which we'll be going to right this second. So the features, LeonardoAI comes with a standard image generation tool utilizing its Phoenix 0.9 and 1.0 models, but there's more included, including motion, which as of yesterday has now been upgraded to a video. So literally in the last 24 hours, they embedded a video generator into this image generation tool. So that's all included. I'll be going over a little bit of that today. So yeah, that's just showing how they're actively still working on it and how active they are with trying to make sure all their users are getting the very best features. And after that, we have a real-time canvas, real-time generation, which sound a bit crazy, but we'll be getting into what they look like and what you can do with them. Then we have the canvas editor, universal upscaler, and flow state. All these might seem kind of crazy now, but trust me, they are. So I'll be getting into them right this second. So first, motion, or what is now video as of yesterday. Motion applies animation to an existing image. It can provide camera movement or environmental movement. So like I said before, all you could do in Leonardo was just take an image and upload it to Leonardo, and it applies its own motion to it. It interprets it however it sees fit, and then it applies whatever movement to it. But now you can do a text to video generation instead of image to video generation. So there's two different modes for that now. So here we have quite a few examples. The very top three, the moon, the raising fist, and the monk in the sky, those are all done with the image to video generation tools that I've done myself. So for the top left, the moon, it doesn't, in this case, it did not animate the camera movement, but animated the sea, animated the stars, animated the sky moving, all these different things, which help prevent it from looking like a still boring image. But it is now, and enhance those details to make it more interesting. And in the center top, we have a burning fist, and there is no camera movement. There is no other environmental movement. All it is it is doing a fire animation, and all that is generated just straight from AI image to AI video. And fire is very hard to animate correctly. So for a pretty base for one of the more basic features in this, it did a very good job of that. And the top right, we have the monk in the sky. There's no movement of the monk, no movement of the sky. It is just pure camera movement. It's able to adjust the perspective of the environment. It's able to enhance. It's able to interpret how the different depth of objects. So it does a very good job of that, and I think that's probably one of the strongest videos in this slide. And everything at the bottom is now the brand new text to video generator. So in the center left, we have a dog that's just hopping up on a couch. For something that was literally born yesterday, this AI tool, it did pretty well. I know a lot of other tools struggle with accurate movements and of humans, dogs, animals. I think it did a pretty good job of that. There's more work to be done. In the center, we have another camera movement only, just the anime character on a cliff. Pretty basic, animates, it kind of adds to the scene, adds things that weren't there previously, but enough to make it realistic and believable, so it actually looks like an actual video. Then we have a cat eating a cupcake. Probably not the healthiest option for the cat, but it seems to be pretty realistic though. More realistic than a dog. The camera's just sitting there, just animating the steam coming off the top of the tea, and that did that very well. And on the right we have a sunset with a bunch of flowing flowers underneath it. There's camera movement involved. There's also wind involved, cloud movement. So it kind of does all the above. And that's also the text to AI image, the AI video generation. And in the bottom left, we have what appears to be a grand mosque with a tidal wave of sunset clouds above it. As you can kind of see, I'm a big fan of clouds and sunsets. So that's kind of what I gravitate to when it comes to generating images for fun. So yeah, all these, it did, fairly quickly, fairly cheaply too. I'll be going into the pricing later at the end of the PowerPoint. And next we have the real-time canvas. The real-time canvas generates an AI image based on whatever drawing you do. So let's say if you're not quite sure how you want to word something, how you want to tell the tool what you want to generate, how you want to communicate that, or if you want a very specific composition of that, that's what the real-time canvas is for. And for that, all it does is it generates an AI image based on whatever drawing you do. So in the left here, I drew a very crude version of the FAU owl. I did the best I could. I'm sorry. And on the right, it kind of interprets that as an AI image. It does look a little bit cooler, but we'll be getting to some of the really cool stuff in the next slide. So here on the top left, we have a very elementary school drawing I could have done when I was 5. Sun in the top left corner, blue sky, green grass, blue sea, and through that it interprets as that on the right. Fantasy mountains, water in the bottom, blue sky, sun in the top left corner. That sun might be a little bit close, so I think everyone in this image might have burned, but I hope they're okay. In the bottom we have just a random scribble of different colored blobs I did, and through that it interpreted a cave entrance with different mountains in the background. I think that's probably the most impressive out of all of these different examples so far for this tool. It's able to add things on its own that aren't previously there, and through that you can kind of denote how much freedom you want to give it to add and take away things, just so you can kind of provide more of a bare bones drawing through a high quality final output. All right, and the real-time generator. The real-time generator allows for instant AI generation at the cost for quality. So if you're looking for a high quality image, this is not your the best feature to use, but it's mainly used for workshopping prompts. So in the bottom left here, I have a FAU owl football player. Not quite sure how I worded this, but it seems interesting. If you look at the finer details, like it falls apart very quickly, but that's just for testing things around. And then in the center, in the right, we have the FAU campus and Boca Raton. Not even remotely accurate, or if you really look at the details, get up close, you can see it does not look good. But again, it's just for a very quick quickly getting an idea of what you want to do. So by no means is it supposed to be is this meant to be like a final tool for that. And then we have the Canvas editor. The Canvas editor is very similar to the AI tools in Photoshop. You can expand beyond the additional canvas. So let's say if you have an image, the image is either too small or it's not the right shape for you, the right aspect ratio, you can add on to it. So we have the left here is the standard FAU image generation of a campus. And on the right, we were able to expand those into a 16:9 aspect ratio so we can actually use it in a video. So we're able to avoid those black bars on the side. And then the universal upscaler, which is going to be the one of the more important tools today. Universal upscaler, it lets you upscale and enhance an image with AI. So what that does is it just very quickly just upscales the image. It's very self-explanatory. There are many reasons to use this, many benefits to this. For educational purposes, you can use it for online courses, you can use it for presentations, videos, and also accessibility as well. For a smaller image, there's not much detail to see what's going on, to kind of understand what's happening. You can use this to sort of enhance that, make it easier for you or easier for the students to see what's going on in the image. It also makes it look better. So here we have an image of FAU students on the FAU campus. If you look closely, it does kind of fall apart. I generated this with the real-time generator tool intentionally because I knew it wasn't going to turn out all that good. And here's what it looks like when you use the universal upscaler. It makes it bigger, but it also, more importantly, it makes the people look more human. So that's what's most important here to me. This is the before. This is the after. You can see a big difference in their faces and their teeth. It definitely makes them look more believable and less like an AI Frankenstein. And here you have another example. On the left is the original image, which is not generated by AI, just a regular historical image. On the right, we have you applied the universal upscaler to it. Adds more detail, kind of makes the eyes look more like eyes, makes the mouth more like a mouth, kind of removes some of the grain, boosts the crispness, and makes them more like a human being. And same thing here. It's a bit harder to tell because it is a landscape, and the people are very small in this. But again, it's a very wide shot of what appears to be a factory in the middle of the mountains, or I guess foothills would be the right word for it. And through there, it just, boosts the contrast, boosts clarity, removes the grain, makes the people more viewable. You can kind of see the details of their faces. You can see the details of the trees in the background, things like that. And on the left is a very strong example of the benefits. On the left, we have a very low resolution and blurry image of this person. And I ran that through the universal upscaler. And, it's still a little bit blurry. It's still a work in progress. But, it's definitely a step in the right direction. But this is only after one iteration of the universal upscaler. And that's also done through the free version too as well. Everything I've done so far is used with the free version. There's a paid version. I'll be getting into the pricing later on in the presentation at the very end. But all this is to show how powerful the free version is, and the paid version is that much more powerful over it. Then we have flow state, and flow state is another part of the image generator. But through here, you can produce several or infinite generations from the same prompt with different styles. So let's say if you want to generate, an image of a cow with a cowboy hat on. All right, it'll generate that, but it'll do it in different styles. So it'll generate one with the anime style, one with a cartoon style, one with a realistic cinematic style, one with, a 19th century historical image style, the whole thing. So here we have an example. Yeah. All right, so for the prompt, prompt is a majestic and detailed epic painting of a 15th century Portuguese caravel. It sails billowing in the wind, traveling through a surreal ocean of fluffy white clouds with vibrant sunset backdrop of warm oranges, yellows, and pinks illuminating the entire scene. So included in this also is a free prompt generator for you. If you have an idea of what you want to do, but you're not sure how to word it, you can use the built-in prompt generator and prompt editor as well, to kind of help you communicate with the AI more effectively. So we have different images of the same thing, different styles. Bottom right we have an anime style, looks very pretty. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of sunsets. So I like what I like. What can I say? Then we'll have a demonstration. So for those of you just coming in, I've gone over the basics of the tools, and now I'm going to show you exactly what the tools can do, what they look like, how to use them. So I'm going to go over to LeonardoAI over here. All right, so this is LeonardoAI. This is the website. On the left, we have the home, which you can see other user-generated content. This one's pretty funny. and just very basic things. That library, you can see all the prompts, all the images that you've generated, or images, videos, which is now built in to this tool as well. So we'll actually start off with the video. We'll get into image generation later. So this is the video generator. It's actually brand new as of yesterday. For those of you just wondering, it was born yesterday. When I was making this presentation, it was called motion, and you just drag in an image, and it applies motion to it, and it still does that, but now it's called video, and now you can do a text to video generation instead of just only image to video generation. So you would just drag it in here. You can type it in like a prompt if you want to do it that way. So actually, this tool is only available for paid users because you can see here it uses 250 tokens, and we only get 150 a day. And right now I'm sitting at a nice 54 from use. So it does reset every day. I'll be going into more of the pricing momentarily, but that is what that would look like. And then we have the real-time canvas. This is where the fun begins. All right, so this is what it looks like. You draw whatever you want over here. You can set different styles of it. So this, we're gonna do environment. All right, and like I showed before, I am not that good of a 2D artist, so I'm gonna do green grass. All right, and you can see it applies green grass. It looks kind of dark because right now the sky is black, so you got to paint the sky blue. Or if you want to be really crazy, let's just randomize it here. Let's do a bright red sky. If you see a bright red sky, you're probably in a lot of trouble, so I would get out of there. All right, so that's all just from 2 colors. There's more detail to be added. And as far as creativity strength, the higher the number, the more creativity you give it. So if you want to, just give it the basics and say figure the rest out from here, I'll set it up to 0.9, which looks nothing like what I generated or what I drew. So I'm going to set that back down to 0.75, just so there's a little bit of a balance between it. Whereas if I were to set it to 0.3, which is the lowest, it'll generate the same exact image. So if you're setting it at 0.3, best of luck, because you're drawing that thing by hand. AI is not going to help you with that. So set that back to 0.75. All right, so there's more to be added here. So let's add something else. Let's add let's pick a random color. Let's do blue. All right, let's add a giant purple thing right here. What's it gonna do, huh? Okay, cool. So now we have a bit of red rock. A little tunnel there. That's way less entertaining than what I previously generated, which is a giant pumpkin. Yeah, no, it does it live. We can add little details here. Let's just do that, see what happens. All right, it's more accurate. It really follows what you're doing. All right, so that's the real-time canvas, excuse me. Then we have the real-time generation. All right, so through here, it generates it as you type it. So I have this set to anime style, so we'll set that back to dynamic. Okay, so let's say we want an image of New York City with a UFO flying above it. All right, and as you can see, it updated as I was typing, which can be a bit distracting, but the main focus of this tool is to workshop a prompt in case you're not sure exactly how to word it, exactly what it's going to look like if you were to put it in the real thing. And the main benefit of this is it does not use any tokens at all. You have a limit of 200 generations a day with this, and just for something like that, it really helps with you if let's say if you have the free version and you don't want to kind of use all your tokens at once. You can just enter it through here, see how it looks, change things around, and through there you can just copy and paste that and just put it in the image generator tool itself, and then it'll generate something, I'm assuming, higher quality than this. And you can also have 4 elements over here. You can make this a kid's illustration. See what that looks like. Okay, pretty cool. You can do an anime style. Not as accurate. Folk art. That looks pretty cool. and coloring book. All right, and it also works for people too, and for showing characters, you can really see how weak it is as an actual AI tool, as an AI image generator. Image of an FAU professor. Okay, so if you're looking with your eyes closed from 100 feet away, he looks good, but right now he does not. So again, it's just for workshopping prompts. Now, if you want to make him into a kid's illustration character, we can make him that, or we can do an anime style, folk art. Yeah, there we go. And then coloring book. And right now, those are the only 4 options for it, but you can also do different styles over here. You can do ray traced. That'll be like a 3D animation style. I'll take that down. Yep. Again, horribly disfigured. But, if you're just trying to figure out what you want to do, this is a great start. And then we have the canvas editor, which over here, I'm actually going to delete that. And okay, so so far this is going to be the most advanced tool. It's the same thing as the AI tools in Photoshop. You can use to expand borders. So here we have an image of Captain John Franklin of the Franklin Expedition for you history buffs. So I'm going to scale him there. And all you got to do is type in the prompt at the bottom right here. I'm going to choose it. I'm going to have it generate 2 images. Just so you have more options, because the first one's not always the best one. Let's say I want to show this in a video. I want to fill in the blank areas. So I'm going to do is type in the prompt down here, fill in the blank areas. I'm going to hit generate. It's going to take a few moments. Last time I did this, it did not turn out well. But again, like if you're on the free version, you do get a lower priority for the different models it uses. But you do get to use it. So that looks worse. Might as well have the black bars in there. But let's see what the second option is. Let's see if that's any better. That's actually not bad. So I'm going to accept that. And through there, you can just download it and you're good. Yep, so that's how you use the real-time canvas. And then we'll use the universal upscaler, which I'm just going to demonstrate how to use it. I'm not actually going to use it today, because it does use quite a few tokens, which I don't have. So this is the universal upscaler. All you got to do is just add an image. You can drag it in. It accepts JPEGs, PNGs, WebPs. Just drag it in, upload it. And here we have Captain Smith. All you got to do is hit upscale. You can change the modifier, the multiplier. So if you want to upscale it 2 times, you do 2. If you want to do it 1.5 times, you do it 1.5. It tells you the approximate dimensions it'll be once it's done. You can do creativity strength. So if you want it to be the exact same image, but just bigger, you do that. But the only benefit is it won't enhance it at all, though. It'll just scale it up, but it won't make it look better. It'll just scale up those, if it's already pixelated, it'll just make it look worse. So it recommends to keep it around 5 for a nice balance, so it doesn't add too much detail that isn't already there. And then you just hit upscale, and it does that. And lastly, we'll do the flow state. So flow state's an image creation right here. All right, so here we have the flow state. It's the same thing as image generator, but you just type in what you want, and then it'll generate an infinite amount of images after that. So let's say we want flying kitten over Las Vegas. All right, so I'm not a prompt writer, so I'm going to show you how to actually enhance that. So you have this little button right here with the stars. You click on that. You click Improve Prompt. It takes a few moments. It does not use any of your tokens, and now it expands that greatly, adds more detail, because the AI knows how to communicate with the AI. I'm not that good at that, so that's what the AI is there for. So then I'll hit generate, and take a few moments. All right, so here we have different styles. So we have one that's candlelit, cat flying above Las Vegas, and we have one that's like a watercolor style. Then we have cinematic, a realistic one. We have an anime one. So it does different styles. So if you want a lot of images of the same thing, just different styles, different angles, different lightings, that's an option. Now let's say if I really like this one right here. I can click more like this to make it a really cute type of image, and it generates a whole bunch that are just like that. Okay. And I see it now. I'm running low on. I'm actually out of tokens, so that's not good. Yeah, so I can't do anything now. But yeah, that's generally how it works. Let's say if you wanted to change the cat into a polar bear, you can edit the prompt with AI down here. Click Edit with AI, type it in, and makes it a polar bear. If you want to change the city, instead of having to find out where it is in the text here, instead of just changing it to Las Vegas, you can change it to a different city. You can edit every iteration it is very, very quickly. So it saves a lot of time. And that actually covers the demonstration.